Today is the day. Today is when everything stops and a new beginning begins. Today is when you stop looking at the world pissed off and angry and look at it as a beautiful place where anything can happen. 'Cause right now, in this moment, is the backseat therapy session. And with that, let's begin. The story behind backseat therapy session was about a year ago. I ended up going through some hard times, and my buddy would hang out with me after work, and we would just sit there and talk. And after a while, and I got better, we just decided to say, "Hey man, we're gonna have another backseat therapy session today," and it was just kind of a joke. And I've always been fascinated with therapy. When I ever come to like movies and like music videos, when the character was in therapy, there was just something about it that intrigued me, that I liked the idea of just sitting down and talking to someone, which is basically what this is. This is just my excuse to talk. If I can have 30 minutes to an hour, or at least just 5 minutes of being able to talk more than I usually can, I'm going to take it. And that's basically what therapy is just talking. So I figured it was a great fit. And I also named my first comedy mixtape, but I just kind of passed it around to my friends so they could listen to what I've been working on for the past year, and just so I can just kind of, also learn how to make a CD. Because I didn't really know how, I'm not good with computers. And I basically named it Backseat Therapy Session LP, and the name really stuck with me, and I really enjoy it, and it has a good essence around it. Along with that, there is a rapper named NF who is also coming out with his second album called Therapy Session, and I figured that was a sign that I should be moving in this direction. And maybe if people Google Therapy Session on YouTube, maybe, just maybe, this will pop up. So it's kind of a nice win-win, and I'm really excited. So, you know what? I'm really happy I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm finally doing it, and I'm excited to see what comes with it. And let's just begin. Let's get into business real quick. Or just let's get into the top conversation. Or whatever. Taylor Swift just won a bunch of 3 Grammys at the Grammy Awards over the past weekend. And, I know there's some stuff going between her and Kanye. I really don't care about that. What I do care about is, what does she do afterwards? Like, she just won Grammys, and what does she do? What does she do at the end of the night, right? Like, she just won 3 Grammys. Does she go home and make music again? Does she get some of her best friends and hang out? And also, what's going on in her mind? Is she worried about her next album? Does she already have an amazing plan? Is she going to take a couple of weeks off? Like, I just did a 14-minute set on Friday, which I will be posting after this episode. And I'll tell you, it is one of the weirdest feelings. After having all that, I worked on that for a month. That 15-minute set for a month, and I brought it to a place, and it was received well, I think. And all of a sudden, it's like afterwards, and you go, well, now what? I go home and I sleep, or I go to another open mic, or I hopefully find a friend who can hang out. Because there's a lot of weird things that go on while you're performing or while you're creating something. It's because when you're done, you're like, oh, well, now what? It's the next thing, but I still want to enjoy what I just created, And it's sometimes difficult to find outlets that allow you to do that. And it kind of also brings the question, well, what am I going to do next? And that's only, for me, 15 minutes. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another 15 minutes. I don't know about what, but I know I'm going to. So when it comes to these artists who won awards, and people have listened to their music, and they've gotten good feedback on their music, what do they do after that? What is going through their mind? Do they just chill out, relax, and go to a diner that's by their house and just kind of enjoy the piece, or are they back in the studio writing or creating beats? And it's something to think about, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We've all have this potential to do something amazing. We just need, you know, work ethic, dedication, heart, stuff like that, an idea to run with. And I think people forget that because it's much easier to go, well, this song sucked, who cares? This movie sucked, who cares? But I mean, someone worked really hard on that. Like David Spade said, it takes as much time and energy to make a great film as a bad film. So the people who went in that movie went in trying to make a good film, and it just didn't get well received. And it's just kind of crazy how that happens. Like, what if my last 15 wasn't received well? What if nobody liked it and it was just silent the whole time? And nobody took the time to realize or understand that, that material took me a month to make. It was me writing all the time and second guessing myself. And when I bombed one night, and then the night after, I'm asking myself, how am I going to create this 15 minutes? How is this stuff going to be good? And also, is this stuff going to be ever good? And then no one's going to sit here and say it sucked because no one's heard it. But, then there's this higher level of people who have heard their stuff, and they're just getting bad reviews. It's just kind of like this weird, crazy circle when we all think about it, the same happened to Ronda Rousey. I think people forget that she's human too. Like, she came into this world the same way we all did. She eats, she sleeps, she has good days, she has bad days, And all of a sudden you go on Instagram or Facebook, and people are just saying, we hope Holly kills you. That's a human being. She's legitimately fighting. If she does get hurt again, there is a way for her to get hurt even worse than before. And people are actually telling her to go do that. Is that really fair? What if your friend was that? What if that was your friend, and you knew how hard they worked, and you knew what was going on in their mind, and you realized that life was throwing on all these things, and then they lost? Would you legitimately be okay with someone telling your friend to go die? Would you be okay with knowing what has gone on in their life, and then some person on a computer screen says, go die? But people do it all the time. I've done it, not entirely. I've made fun of Iggy Azalea when she tried to freestyle, and I feel bad about that now. But I didn't go tell her to die. I just said she was really bad at freestyling. It's not a good thing, and I'm not proud of it, but I've learned through it. How can someone legitimately write, go die? What is going on in your life to where you feel it's okay to do that? We're all human. We're all team human. We've all gone through stuff. It's all different. Either someone has gone through something worse than me, or not as worse than me, but we've still gone through struggles. It's this weird thing that I feel people forget, that even though we have these super people, they're still people. We should be on team people and not whatever else team we think we're on or we think we're not on. Maybe that's just something else that's just going on in my mind. Anyways, on the topic of Ronda Rousey, how does she do it? How do people in the UFC or Bellator or, anything like that, people who fight, people who work out every day, how do they do it? Because I've been trying to lose weight, and this week, I've just made mistake after mistake after mistake, man. I've probably only worked out twice this week, and it's Wednesday, and that doesn't sound too bad. But I've also just been eating bad food all week, too. I barely eat, and then I come home and eat bad food. I know why, and that's halfway through it, but stopping myself is the hardest part. Me understanding why is easy. Why do I do this? Well, because I'm angry, I'm stressed out, and I need to eat something that makes me feel better for comfort food. I can tell myself that's what I don't need it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. And that's the hardest part right now. I go to work, and then I'm stressed out at work, and then before I go to school I eat, but I'm so stressed out from work that I gotta go to school, I eat badly, and then I go to school, then I don't eat again. So my whole one meal, and small meals, is just junk food, and it's bad food because I'm so stressed out. And I realized this, that there's gotta be changes made at my job. I have to make changes so that I can eat better, and I can get more sleep, and I can find time to exercise. And that's gonna take time, mainly because I gotta figure out how to do all that. Because it's not just me, and I could, move around, and I could try different things, and hopefully that succeeds. But I do have to involve my bosses and fellow coworkers so that not everything gets blown out of control because I decide to come to work at 8:30 instead of 7. And that's going to take some time to navigate. But at least I'm proud of myself for at least realizing what I'm doing and that I'm trying to change it. And that kind of excites me because I'm hoping that one day in the future, this one change of me figuring out how to incorporate all this was one day maybe the reason why I lose a bunch of weight. And it's not like I haven't been losing weight. I've been losing weight about a pound a week, which is good, that was my goal. But I still look in the mirror and I'm not happy with what I see. And that bugs me because there are people out there who are worse than me, but there's also people out there that are better than me. And I'm sitting there and I'm in the middle and I'm comparing myself to the two. And that's not fair to me. That's not fair to my brain and my mental capacity to just sit there and start comparing myself. But it's so easy to do. So I've decided to set up a few goals for myself. My first goal is to go to my boss and ask if I can start later in the day so I can sleep in a little bit, be able to work out and eat a proper meal. My second goal is to somehow find a good candy supplement. Because around, let's say, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I have this real hankering for sugar, for candy, mainly for something sweet. So I'm trying to find something that is sweet that I could eat that will remind me of candy, but won't be as bad as candy, without all that sugar, which is extremely bad for you. Then I guess my third goal is to remind myself to breathe, to calm down, to get out of my situation, and then get back in my situation when I'm ready. Because sitting in a cubicle or sitting in a small room or just sitting in the same spot you are and just thinking about the same stuff, it's not going to help. It's just going to dig and dig and dig this deeper hole. And, that's going to probably be the hardest part of all of this. This is the hard part, is just trying to figure this all out. I really asked myself, how did Chris Pratt do it? How did he do it? One day he's Chubby Andy from Parks and Rec, and the next thing you know, he has a six-pack and he's starring in his own movies. And I'm extremely happy and proud that I got to see that, but I didn't get to see all of that. I didn't get to see that Monday he wakes up and he's only been working out for a week and he's tired and he wants to eat pancakes and drink beer. I want to see that part. And a part of me is glad I'm doing this so that hopefully down the line I'm in the body I want to be in and the mindset I want to be in, and I have this this database of videos that shows me, oh, this is how I came to be, this is how it all happened. And I'm really hoping that I follow through with this, and I'm hoping I don't backpedal. And this is crazy, man. If someone were to tell me a year ago I'd have my own podcast, that's crazy, man. You know what? That's our time for this session. If I could just kind of leave with some parting words. I was really touched by what Joe Rogan said in his On It commercial. Live your life like it was a movie. Imagine yourself as a documentary and there's a film crew following you around. That seems to really help. sometimes. Like, let's say Monday through Thursday. That'd be a terrible movie. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be a terrible movie. Nobody would pay $13 to see that. But Friday, the day of my 15-minute set, to be honest, I would watch that movie. I woke up late, got to work late. You know, I'm writing down my set list, trying to remember it all. I get home, I'm too antsy, so I leave and I head over there early. And, I'm sitting there, I'm standing and I'm waiting for my turn. I'm nervous. I'm just looking at my little piece of paper, hoping my brain doesn't fail me, and that all this practice we worked for, I can do it. And I think maybe Joe Rogan doesn't mean live every day like it's your movie, but live every day like you're preparing for that movie, you know? So Monday through Thursday is those months you're preparing for your big role, and Friday you let it all out onto the screen. And then Saturday is when you go to the red carpet, and everyone gets to watch your film, and it's at Fandango, and it's at Edwards Cinema, and everybody gets to watch it, and you make millions of dollars. And then Sunday, you're on Jimmy Fallon, or the Fighter and the Kid podcast, promoting your movie. And then Monday is back at it again, where you go Monday through Thursday, you're just preparing for another film, and then Friday, and then Friday's your film. And if I keep living my life like that, I know I'm going to make changes, because I'm striving and I'm working for Friday. I'm working for my movie. I'm working for that premiere. I'm working for that one day I will be the one who's answering the questions, the one asking the questions. But I'll also be able to fulfill my dreams of being able to meet and communicate with all these amazing people. I'll be able to learn on this crazy journey that we call life. I mean, today sucked, but after talking like this, I'm actually really excited to see what happens tomorrow. Because tomorrow is completely different from today. No matter how you look at it, it will be completely different. And I'm excited to see what I do and what can become tomorrow. So that by Friday will be like my big shot, you know? I don't know about you, but I surely know about me that this was a great session, and I'm really glad I did this, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy about this path I decided to go on with this new podcast, and I hope that all the people who are following the old podcast follow me, but I also hope that because of this new change, this new honest change, that more and more people will follow this, and maybe I'm hoping that one day I can inspire people. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Like, I'm constantly inspired by Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen, Pete Holmes, oh god, there's so many. I'm so inspired by the people I meet at open mics, you know? I'm inspired to see the new stuff they create. I'm inspired by just turning on the TV and saying that some person just came out with a new album, or comes out with a new track, or that there's a person who's been hustling for 12 years has finally been shown, you know, the respect and fame they deserve. And I'm hoping that one day I'm somehow intermingled with that, you know? I think that'd be the really cool thing, and I'm going to end it right here, right there, at this positive moment, and just saying the words of Joe Rogan: live your life like it's a documentary.